What's good, everybody? Welcome back. This is I don't know. Our names are Shane and Eric, so I'm thinking sports entertainment with Shane and Eric. S&E, that whole thing.
Oh, I like that.
That could work.
I like that.
This is your boy Shane G.
What up? This is Eric G.
What's good? What's good? What's good? It's WrestleMania weekend, y'all. So we got a good episode coming up for y'all because we're we're gonna create real WrestleMania up in here. First of all, though, as you can see, the NWO hat in the back. Of course, rest in peace to the big homie, the OG Scott Hall.
RIP the GOAT.
Y'all already know. Y'all have already seen all the videos and everything, and you've seen all his bios and all that stuff already. So we don't have to get into that. I will give you one of my favorite Razor Ramon moments, though. Was as a kid, my dad took me and my cousin Marvin, and his dad was there as well. So shout out to Big Marv. To a wrestling match, and I was young, so I really don't remember who all was there. I think maybe Tatanka was there. I remember
the story.
I think maybe Mr. Perfect was there. People, it was that era, you know what I mean? But Razor Ramon was for sure there because that was my dad's dude. So
yeah, I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah. So we definitely, I definitely got to see him live. So that was dope. You know what I mean? And I believe he won that match. I'm pretty sure he won that match.
That's dope.
He was a bad guy at the time too, so I got to see like a original Razor Ramon. So it was dope. So R.I.P. him.
Yeah, I got to go back a little bit this week, and just kind of catch some of the great moments. And from what I saw, my favorite match that I saw was his ladder match with Shawn Michaels. I didn't know that was like basically the first ladder match in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that was a great match. I didn't know they like went overtime and all that. And
I didn't know that.
It was a good story to learn about. So yeah, R.I.P. Razor Ramon.
Yeah, all the Click stories are good. Just go back watching the old NWO and Click and all that kind of stuff, and you'll be thoroughly entertained for sure. Sir. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do it a little bit different. We're gonna switch up the format a little bit for y'all. What we're doing is we're just straight fantasy booking the whole episode, right? So what we did, because it's WrestleMania weekend, and typically there's multiple events that always go on WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania itself is 2 nights. NXT typically has a show on Friday night. AEW is running a show on Friday as well. I believe Ring of Honor's pay-per-view is Friday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So all this stuff basically going on, WrestleMania weekend, they always have all these conventions and everything, right, that are non-WWE affiliated. So even though the event is called WrestleMania and that's WWE's thing, the week and the weekend truly is Wrestling Mania, I guess you can say. So the name of this episode is Wrestling Mania because we have fantasy booked our own weekends, basically. So if we ran wrestling as a whole, though, like not just WWE or AEW, we got real creative with it. So we're going to have, ECW, we're going to have WCW, we're going to have, all of that stuff. It's going to be multi-generational. There's really no rules to the booking on this at all. It's just pure fun, just whatever video game booking you would do on you know what I'm saying? Like if it's that. So this is pure, just fun entertainment, just what if type scenarios. So that's the whole episode. We're just gonna have fun with it. So This is Wrestling Mania. I'm gonna start with my night 1, which is gonna be the Friday night. I'll run down the whole card and then we'll get into the matches individually.
All right.
So the whole card, night 1 is All In. That's what we're calling it. We're keeping the themes of pay-per-views that already exist. So night 1 is All In. Shout out to AEW. Match number 1, Hikaru Shida versus Asuka.
Oh, I like that.
Number 2, Deonna Purrazzo versus Britt Baker for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Number 3, Nyla Rose versus Nia Jax. Number 4, Ty Conti and Anna Jay versus Bayley and Sasha Banks for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Iconics versus Paige and Mandy Rose, aka Absolution, for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Jade Cargill versus Chyna for the TBS Championship. Thunder Rosa versus Rhea Ripley versus Lita in a triple threat for the AEW Women's Championship. And Layla Hirsch versus Shayna Baszler for the WWE Women's Championship. That's my night 1.
All right.
So how you feeling about that?
I really like that first match.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd you say, Asuka and Akira Shida?
Yeah. So it's gonna be Hikaru Shida
good.
versus Asuka. That's match number 1.
Yeah.
I have Asuka winning that match. Just a good back and forth, just a good New Japan strong style match.
Yeah.
Nothing out of the ordinary for a New Japan match. You know what I'm saying? So just excellent suplexes. Both of them get dumped on their heads, some high flying spots, some hard kicks, some hard strikes. Asuka's, she's, Asuka lock, tap out, simple win. You know what I'm saying? Simple win, but it's going to be a good back and forth.
Yeah.
So that's why I got them too. It's not just because they're both Asian. It's because I feel like style wise, that would be actually like a Shinsuke versus AJ or you know what I'm saying? It could be one of those. So that's actually why I have that booked. So I have Deonna Purrazzo versus Britt Baker. I feel like Deonna Purrazzo basically is the top female wrestler that's not in AEW or WWE.
Got it.
So, because she's the AAA women's champion right now, and she's also the Ring of Honor women's champion right now. So, and then Britt Baker is Britt Baker. So, Britt Baker versus Deonna. I have Deonna Purrazzo retaining the championship. We have Nyla Rose versus Nia Jax. Just to get that's like a Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, but for ladies, you know what I mean? So, I think I think we got Nyla Rose winning that just because she's still active. Nia Jax, that would be like a one-off special appearance type of deal. So, yeah, we're going to give that to Nyla Rose. Ty Conti and Anna Jay versus Bayley and Sasha Banks.
That's a great one. For
the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. I think we're going Bayley and Sasha for the win just because, they have more years of chemistry than Ty Conti and Anna Jay, but they would, definitely give them a run for their money, though. It'll be a close one. I have the Iconics next versus Paige and Mandy Rose. So Absolution versus the Iconics for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. And I'm going to have Paige and Mandy Rose win that one.
All right.
Because Paige is awesome and she deserves good things in wrestling. And her injuries took her out before her time was due. But she was, she was one of them ones. So, I just feel like she deserves it. So we got Jade Cargill versus Chyna for the TBS Championship. We're going to give Jade Cargill the win only because I do feel like she is more athletic than Chyna.
Yeah.
So that allows her to do some better wrestling than Chyna was able to do when she was around. You know what I'm saying? I'm comparing it to like peak Chyna.
Right.
And peak Chyna is not better than Jade Cargill is now, I don't think.
No, I would agree with that.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, Jade Cargill for the win on that. Next, we have Thunder Rosa versus Rhea Ripley versus Lita in a triple threat for the AEW Women's Championship. I'm going to have Rhea Ripley win that one.
Okay.
I'm going to have Rhea Ripley take that one.
I could actually see that, though.
Thunder Rosa, long reign, she's good. Lita's a legend.
Yeah.
So there's your double whammy right there. Blows up Rhea. She's once again a credible threat.
Right.
And then for the women's championship, I have legit Layla Hirsch versus Shayna Baszler. So, just give me a good old MMA style slobber knocker in the words of Jim Ross. Give me some ill submissions. Give me some excellent suplexes. You know what I mean? Give me all of that. Bend the joints, like make it look crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Give me some good chain wrestling, like all of that. Give me Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle, but women. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
And Shayna Baszler is going to go ahead and retain that.
Yeah.
She is the women's champion. So, yeah, I have Asuka going over Hikaru Shida. I have Deonna Purrazzo retaining over Britt Baker. I have Nyla Rose beating Nia Jax. I have Bayley and Sasha retaining. I have Paige and Mandy winning the championships. I have Jade retaining. I have Rhea winning the championship, and I have Shayna retaining. So that is my night one.
All right. Here's my night one, and I feel like this actually, I'll do night two. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like there's a lot of names that you actually left off that I can kind of piggyback up off of.
Okay. So is this your women's event? Or did you do it that way?
No. So I'll do my intermixed one next.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do my intermixed one next. So I don't have belts on any of these. This is just what I want to see out of the matches and who I would pick to go over. You could kind of figure out what belts you would put on whoever, but from here, to start, I have Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins, and we actually did see this once before in the past, but I would like to see it like again, as they're both kind of at their peaks now, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to see character wise, match wise, like I would definitely like to see them just go back and forth, just do a bunch of high flying spots, like a bunch of dives, all of that. So
be super fire.
I would actually give it to Adam Cole on that one though, just because he's the younger guy in the scenario, and putting him over, that'd be a great look for him. My next match is Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair.
Okay.
Strength on strength, power versus power. Just want to see how that would mesh together. I really, strength wise, I'd probably give it to Jade, maybe, but like technical wise, I would give it to Bianca. So in that case, Bianca will get that win. I got the Young Bucks and the Acclaimed versus RK Bro and the Alpha Academy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I just think that every team is kind of comical in their own sort of way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they all also have a legit person who's like the badass of the team.
Yep. Okay.
So,
okay,
like all of them kind of have that one person who's a little silly. One of them kind of has a person who's a little badass. Yeah. Would just like to see all of that mesh together. Just see what we get out of it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I like that.
And really, you could. Now, this is no shade to my guys in the Acclaim, because those are my guys and they on the come up. But for the win, I would probably give it to either the Young Bucks or RK Bro.
Okay.
It'd be between one of those two. And then if you bring them down to a final four, RK Bro.
Okay, so it'd be like an old school Survivor Series match where it's like, now is it individual elimination, or is it like if Max Caster gets eliminated, then Anthony Bowens has to go too?
Nah, it's just one up.
So it's still individual.
Okay, it's individuals. Yeah,
got you. Okay.
I got Britt Baker versus Becky Lynch.
Okay.
I just think both of them have that, like, you know, that heel, like cheating, like I'll do whatever it takes to win type vibe. So you know, for both of them, I would like to see, you know, just both of them go together. But for me, I would personally pick Becky Lynch to go over on that one.
Okay.
Britt Baker's good, but just to me, Becky Lynch is still the level. It's still up here for me. I would have the Bunny versus Alexa Bliss. I told you this a while ago that I wanted to see. That actually
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I really want to see that. And
that's a good one.
Yeah, I would give it to Alexa Bliss.
You got.
Yeah. Even though I think the Bunny's character work is slowly but surely getting better, still right now Alexa Bliss is the one that's on top.
Yeah, and she's a former women's champ. Like, you know.
Yeah, that too. I got Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley versus Wardlow.
Okay, triple threat.
Yeah, triple threat. And the way I would have it go basically is I would have Bobby Lashley kind of be in the mix, out of the mix, but really have Keith Lee and Wardlow really go blow for blow. But then in the end, I would have Bobby win and get the pin over one of those two.
Okay.
But I would still have Wardlow and Keith Lee show that, like, that strength for strength to show like who was the better between the two.
Okay.
And then you could really have Bobby pin either one of them at that point, and then, you know, you could go on from there.
Okay.
I got Ricochet versus Darby Allin. Another high flying match. Another high flying match. And the last one is another right itself one. Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So
who wins?
Kenny Omega.
Okay. What was the one you said before that?
Oh, Ricochet versus Darby Allin, and I would give it to Ricochet.
Got you. Okay. All right. So that's night one.
That's night one.
Okay. Night two for me, WrestleMania. Starting the night off, Hangman Adam Page versus Seth Rollins for the AEW Championship. following up with Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus the Lucha Brothers for the AAA Tag Team Championships. MJF versus the year 2000 Triple H for the TNT Championship.
That's a good one.
The New Age Outlaws versus the Usos for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Kenny Omega versus Rob Van Dam for the Ring of Honor Championship.
That one is really interesting.
Shawn Michaels versus Adam Cole for the Intercontinental Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley versus Ken Shamrock in a triple threat steel cage match. And the Young Bucks versus the New Day for the AEW Tag Team Championships. So, Adam Page versus Seth Rollins for the AEW Tag Team Champion, or for the AEW Championship. Seth Rollins for the win. Seth goes over Hangman.
Yeah, I could see that. Seth
is maniacal Seth, cracking up laughing. You know, I stole the other company's belt. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Because, you know, these belts are all on the line for, you know, that's why I'm picking the belts that exist, actually, except for the ones that, you know, like there's two versions of in WWE, like those I'm just combining. Right. So like there's one women's belt for this, there's one world belt, you know what I'm saying, one set of tag belts, etc. But yeah. So Seth would take the AEW championship back to WWE and be an a-hole with it.
Oh yeah. Major.
Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus the Lucha Brothers for the AAA Tag Team Championships. I have the Lucha Brothers taking that. Okay. You know, but just a great match. It's like probably we're gonna say this will be like Rey Mysterio's version of Shawn Michaels' last match. Like there's that last super banger. You know what I'm saying? Like where he's like, all right, I gotta kind of pull out some of this old Rey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is the Lucha Brothers. These are basically the new versions of what I was doing in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I'm trying to get Dominic to basically where they're at. So, you know what I'm saying? But the Lucha Brothers take the win.
Yeah.
Retain the AAA Tag Team Championships. Next, I have MJF versus the year 2000 Triple H.
That is such a great idea. That was fantastic.
For the TNT Championship. And we're going to have the year 2000 Triple H win it because, you know, he's got Stephanie and he's got DX, and DX is better than the Pinnacle. So his cheating game is better.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. Banger match, you know what I mean? But you know, when it comes down to the end, this is where the shenanigans kick in. DX, they're better at the shenanigans because they've been doing it longer. Plus the Pinnacle, you know, they kind of got issues right now. FTR's like halfway good guys, and Wardlow's not really in, but he, you know what I mean, contractually is. So they got shit going on right now. They can't get it together. Triple H for the win. So he's taking the TNT Championship to WWE. New Age Outlaws versus the Usos for the WWE Tag Team Championships. I got the Usos winning. You know, New Age Outlaws, they were in the previous skirmish helping Triple H out. So, you know, not going to work out for them. We got Kenny Omega versus Rob Van Dam for the Ring of Honor Championship. I always felt like Rob Van Dam, once I started watching Ring of Honor and like NXT and, you know, a lot of like the AEW guys that I like a lot, like the Elite and the Bullet Club and like New Japan style wrestling and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like that's what Rob Van Dam was doing way back in the 90s.
That does make a lot of sense. I wasn't like, I kind of had an idea of why you picked them together, but just hearing you explain that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Like if Rob Van Dam came out now, like he would easily fit in with like what's going on at AEW, like with ease. You know what I'm saying?
He would be a top guy at AEW right now.
That's what I mean. So
100%.
So I would like to see, you know, ECW, which was basically Ring of Honor before Ring of Honor, you know, the top indie promotion in the country, you know what I'm saying? Versus, you know, basically the king of, you know, you could say Kenny Omega is one of those king of the indies type of guys too. Because he was never a WWE guy, but he was famous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was all the other leagues that he was doing, including Ring of Honor. So I have those two for the Ring of Honor Championship. I do have Kenny Omega taking the win.
Okay.
But you know, you can just imagine how good that match would be. So
right.
I have Shawn Michaels versus Adam Cole for the Intercontinental Championship, and I do have Shawn Michaels taking the win. He's going to teach Adam Cole a few things that he still hasn't quite learned to become sort of the next Shawn Michaels. Adam Cole is kind of that guy, but he's got a few extra little things to learn. Shawn Michaels is going to teach him those during that match.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley versus Ken Shamrock in a triple threat steel cage match. Of course, it's because they're all MMA guys. I'm gonna have Bobby win because that's how we're doing that.
That's the guy.
But it's not gonna just be your typical Brock Lesnar match where it's just like mad suplexes and F5s and stuff like that. Like, it's going to be very strategic in certain matches or in certain ways because it's a triple threat, but they're in a steel cage. So there's no way really for you to like incapacitate one guy and then just have it be a 2-on-2. There's going to be a lot of teamwork in the match between the three people. All like there will be moments when it's really never going to be Bobby and Brock versus Ken Shamrock though, because he's the smallest guy out of the three of them. So it's usually going to be Ken and Brock versus Bobby or Ken and Bobby versus Brock.
Right.
And then certain situations will happen where maybe Ken Shamrock gets knocked to the side, Brock and Bobby are brawling a little bit. Ken comes up and then he's helping one of them out. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot of that type of stuff. Basically a lot of double teams on the two bigger guys. But we're going to have Bobby probably just hit some spears and then, call it a win. And then we're going to close night 2 out with the Young Bucks versus the New Day for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And I am going to have the Young Bucks retain the championships. Let me see. So the tag, it's going to be Kofi and Xavier because I have Big E wrestling on night 3. Gotcha. So it's Kofi and Xavier versus the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks are going to win. Clean. Yep.
All right.
Win clean.
This is my night 2. This is strictly AEW.
Okay.
Strictly AEW, strictly current.
Okay.
Strictly current. My last card will be the one that's WWE, but like all over the place. All right. So, and this is basically just what I would want to see in like the next year and a half or so.
Okay.
So and I do have match names for these. So this is the AEW World Title Contender match.
Okay.
So you get the match if you win. You get your next match if you against the AEW World Champion if you win this match. I got Bryan Danielson versus CM Punk versus Jon Moxley.
Okay.
I think those are probably the top 3 guys that we all know from WWE that went over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just like to see them in their new AEW form, kind of like how like your transformations with like Dragon Ball Z, you see one character transform into another, then you really want to see him fight. It's basically what I want to see with this. And I would have CM Punk beat Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley.
Okay.
For the next match, it's going to be a fatal 4-way match for the AEW World Tag Team Champions. And it's the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express versus the Acclaimed versus Red Dragon.
Run me that one more time.
Okay. It's a fatal 4-way match for the AEW Tag Team Champions.
Okay.
By teams. Young Bucks, Jurassic Express, the Acclaimed, and Red Dragon.
Okay.
And those
so I would have. They're pulling double duty.
Yeah, they pulling dubs. They pulling dubs. I just want to see those 4 go at it because those are my 4 favorite tag teams right now. Mm-hmm. And for this one, I'll give this one to the Acclaim.
Word.
I'll give this one to the Acclaim. I'll let them get some shine. Ricky Starks versus Shane Swerve for the FTW Championship. We just saw that, but in my mind, one person should have won, so I'm running that back, and we're giving it to my boy Swerve.
There we go. Swerve's house.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I got Jade Cargill versus a returning Tony Storm.
Okay.
This will be her first debut match, but I'll still give it to Jade Cargill.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let Toni Storm have a very impressive debut, but give it to Jade. TNT champion match. Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy. Versus Sammy Guevara.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would actually let Jeff Hardy get the TNT champion.
Okay. Give him one last good
give
singles
one
run.
one last good singles run. I got Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Okay.
And I got Thunder Rosa winning, but I have Chris Statlander again putting up a great showing. Mm-hmm. She's another person who I think is going to be like at the top of the card at the end of the year. So definitely a good look for me. And then for the last one, I got Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega for the AEW Men's World Championship.
Okay.
And I got Hangman Adam Page retaining.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
For night 2.
All right. Night 3, Sunday night. Starrcade.
Oh, yeah, this was the one you were excited about.
Match number 1, Big E versus Wardlow. Match number 2, Bianca Belair versus Chris Statlander. Match number 3, Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair versus Jimmy Snuka and Tamina. The Undertaker, Kane, and The Fiend versus the House of Black. That's Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody Lee. Chelsea Green versus Mickie James versus 2004 Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch in a fatal 4-way. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Jon Moxley in a bar fight. Sonya Deville versus Ronda Rousey versus Paige Van Zant in a triple threat steel cage match. Very reminiscent of the night before with Bobby. Yeah, same idea, but just 3 MMA chicks this time. And then we're going to close the night off with Sammy Guevara versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship in a ladder match.
I love it.
So the first match, Big E versus Wardlow. Just 2 big dudes just beating the crap out of each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get out to Wardlow, actually, because, you know, he's on the come up. And, you know, Big E's been the champion, several different champions multiple times over. You know, Wardlow needs his shine. So, you know, they'll have a banger, though. Bianca Belair versus Chris Statlander. I have Bianca going over. Again, good showing. I think that's a good matchup because Chris Statlander is one of the strong, you know, women in AEW. She's one of the people that'll lift you up and, you know, be able to like hold you up in the air for a suplex.
Yeah, that suplex move.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like she can do that too. So that's like, okay, a strength for strength type of match.
Exactly.
But again, Bianca, more athletic. She gets the win. Charlotte and Ric Flair versus Jimmy and Tamina. So of course, you know, we're going to go, you know, whatever year that was that Jimmy Snuka jumped off the cage, that iconic, that's the year Jimmy Snuka. Tamina, it can be, you know, current or, you know, anytime really. Mm-hmm. Charlotte, same thing. Ric Flair, this is late 80s Ric Flair.
Got you.
Cool. So in that match, I have Ric Flair and Charlotte winning because they are the dirtiest players in the game. And they're gonna cheat to win.
You know it.
They're gonna do some
at all costs, no matter what.
There's gonna be mad eye gouges. However, there will be a cool spot in the middle of the match where Rick and Charlotte are both laid out in the middle, and Tamina and Jimmy will jump from adjacent corners and do their body splash. That would be sweet.
That'd be sweet.
There will also be a moment where the opposite happens, where Ric Flair has Jimmy Snuka in the figure 4 and Charlotte has Tamina in the figure 8 at the same time. Got to do both of those spots. Yeah, but there will be some sort of shenanigans involving a referee distraction, possible low blow, cheating, etc. You know what I'm saying? Quick roll up, 1, 2, 3. Everybody boos the Flares, get them out of here. There you go. Our scary match. We have The Undertaker, Kane, and The Fiend versus Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody Lee, the House of Black. I have The Undertaker, Kane, and The Fiend winning.
Obvious move
because they're the OG scary people. So there you go. That's why. But Malachi Black, and it's going to be some cool stuff. There's going to be some Malachi Black versus the Fiend stuff. You know what I mean? He's going to try to, I'm stealing this one directly from What Culture, but Malachi is going to spit the stuff in the Fiend's eyes to no effect, though, because the Fiend's a devil or whatever he is. So, psychopath clown devil man. So, yeah, doesn't affect him. There's going to be, some Brody Lee versus Kane spots because, they're the big guys. You know what I'm saying? Got to do that. There's going to be some Malachi Black versus Undertaker stuff, too, because they're the de facto leaders of each side. Yeah. So, there's going to be some interesting matchups in there. But, yeah, the OGs are taking the Brothers of Destruction with the Fiend. Next, we have Chelsea Green versus Mickie James versus the year 2004. Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch in a fatal four-way. So recently, Chelsea Green and Mickie James, their friendship, fell apart on Impact or whatever. Yeah. Chelsea Green's a bad guy now. So her and Becky are going to do some working together. Mickie and Trish, mind you, have history. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were like the best friends. And then, Mickie was the stalker. And then Mickie beat her for the women's title at WrestleMania. And, they have history and everything. But there will be a mutual respect there that allows them to work together to fight against Chelsea Green and Becky Lynch, basically. So it's sort of going to be set up like a tornado tag match at the beginning, but then Chelsea Green and Becky Lynch, actually, their alliance falls apart first because they're bad guys and they're both selfish. Somebody's going to go for a pin or something like that, and the other one's going to pull the other one off. They fall apart. Right. You know what I mean? Then everybody's fighting everybody. Everybody's hitting their big moves. The Mick kick, bow. Becky Lynch hit somebody with the manhandle slam. Chelsea Green, I forgot exactly what her move is, but she'll hit her move. You know what I mean?
I don't remember what Chelsea moves.
Everybody will do their moves at different. There's got to be the spot fest at the end. You know what I mean? However, I am gonna have Becky Lynch go ahead and take this win.
I like it.
She's beating the legends. Chelsea Green still, kind of. Like she's up there, you know what I mean? Like as far as women's wrestlers go, like she's in the top 10 for sure.
She's been around for a minute.
She's been around for a little minute, you know what I mean? And I would say she's in the top 10 of women's wrestlers for sure. But Becky Lynch is probably in the top 4. So there you go. Stone Cold versus Jon Moxley in a bar fight. There is no winner of the match, really. Like they're just beating each other down. And then like there's occupants in the bar though, right? Like this goes on for like 10-15 minutes. They're just scrapping. You know what I mean? They're doing the whole, like imagine the Stone Cold Booker T grocery store thing, but in a bar though. So, pool sticks, bow, they're throwing pool balls at each other, dodging the pool balls. They're using the little triangle.
They got loud music playing in the background.
There's loud music playing. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, it's Stone Cold's music.
It's Stone Cold music
the whole time, like on a jukebox,
right?
Like in the bar. It's just Stone Cold's music playing. And they're just scrapping and just fighting back and forth. Jon Moxley is, like it's not one-sided though. Like it's very like even-handed where they're both, you know what I mean? So
they'll be laid out and then both of them will get offered a beer and then they'll both drink the beer together.
Stuff like that happens, you know what I mean? And then somebody from the crowd, like, or somebody who's at the bar is gonna like bump one of them or something like that, which is going to cause, let's say it's Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's going to get bumped by somebody from behind. He's going to turn around, swing on that dude. Same thing happens to Stone Cold. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now they're just fighting everybody else, basically. You know what I mean? They clear out the bar, basically, of everybody else. It's just them two. They go back behind the bar, make their own drinks, and toast.
Yep.
Then it's over. So they actually end up cool after everything.
Exactly.
So there you go. There's that. No winner, no loser, just entertaining fight. Then we have Sonya Deville versus Ronda Rousey versus Paige Van Zant. Triple threat steel cage match. MMA ladies.
I almost put this on my list too. I'm glad I didn't.
I'm actually going to give this one to Paige Van Zant, who is the newest wrestler out of the three of them. And it's because I'm going to have Sonya and Ronda not getting along the whole match, based on
their history,
their situation now. Because I was debating if it was going to be Shayna Baszler in this place, then Shayna and Ronda would have just double teamed Paige the whole time. And then it would have been kind of like a similar dynamic to the first one. But in this one, it just kind of doesn't matter. Like all three of them are just at it basically. Paige is kind of just chilling, letting Ronda and Sonya go at it, but you know, Ronda notices this, so she's like, nah, you got to come get some too, basically. But by the time that happens, Paige is basically like still fresh, you know what I mean? Because the other two have been, you know, kind of going at it the whole time, and she's been doing a pretty good job of staying out of the fray.
Yeah, that's so basically like one of my previous matches, like the Keith Lee, Wardlow, and Bobby Lashley one. That's exactly the same thing.
But you got to remember they're in a cage, so she's just having to like kind of just be low key, like you know what I mean?
That's
like
true. That's true.
Like she's right there, but she's not right there because Ronda and Sonya have so much hatred for each other that she's basically invisible.
Right.
Even though she's right in the ring with them, you know what I'm saying? So then she just kind of takes her opportunity.
Whenever she can, get her strikes in whenever she can.
Learns from Dan Lambert how to, you know what I'm saying, be evil and win. You know what I mean?
Play a little dirty.
So she takes the win. And then lastly, I have Sammy Guevara versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship in a ladder match. Sammy Guevara for the win.
Let's go.
Because AJ is a phenomenal, pun intended, superstar. And, you know, he's at the position now where he can put over other people and it'll mean a lot.
Yeah, it will.
You know, a win over AJ Styles means something. So I would give that to Sammy Guevara. Plus, WWE has taken some of AEW's belts in my pay-per-view already. So AEW needs a win back.
Yeah.
So they're taking the main prize from WWE over to AEW.
Got you.
So now it's a fair trade-off, actually. The WWE champion is Sammy Guevara, and he's on AEW.
Yep.
And the AEW champion is Seth Rollins, and he's on WWE.
That makes perfect sense.
And that's how I end my night.
That's perfect sense.
Or that's how I end my weekend, rather.
All right. I guess there's only one set of belts that I have missing from my card, and that is the women's tag team belts, but that's okay. Not that they're not irrelevant right now, but that's kind of WWE's fault that they're kind of low on the card. Yeah. So they're not listed on here, but that's not to say that they don't still mean something,
right? In
general. All right. So for the U.S. title, I have Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan, and I have let's go with 2001 Kurt Angle. We'll go with that. And I basically just want to see like an incredible technical match between the two of them, because Kurt Angle back in the day was just as good, if not all the person that Daniel Bryan is today. So I just would love to see that. And of course I give Daniel Bryan the win there. Let's see, for the Intercontinental Champion, I have Damian Priest versus Austin Theory versus Dominic Mysterio versus Cedric Alexander versus Montez Ford in a ladder match.
Okay.
And I just want to see all those guys just
crazy
go insane. I want to see Montez
jump
off of stuff. I want to see Montez Ford hit that incredibly beautiful frog splash. So I just want to see all that. And
he does have a super nice frog splash. That's true.
Facts. And for me, I would give the win to Damian Priest just because I feel like his US title run was a little lackluster and he kind of needs something a little better than that. And just out of all those guys on there, like he's probably my favorite, even though if Montez Ford was solo, I'd probably have him win it.
I feel it.
Yeah. Now for the women's world champion, I got Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Okay. So we're running the four horsewoman. And I would give the belt right now to Sasha Banks. I think if Bayley was wrestling right now, I think that would possibly be a different story. Mm-hmm. I would possibly give it to Bayley, but right now I would give it to Sasha Banks.
Okay.
I'm going to unify the tag team champions, and we're going to have RK Bro versus the Usos, and I'm going to give it to RK Bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I still just think Randy and Matt Riddle, I think, even though we know that their breakup is inevitably coming, I still think that they're probably one of the best tag teams we've seen in like the last 5 years.
Maybe.
Like as far as like characters.
And as far as like how they're being booked and all that kind of stuff. Like actually being booked like a real tag team.
Exactly. Because like if it were another tag team right now in the WWE that I would pick for that, it'd be the Usos. Right. But that's the obvious pick. So
right.
Yeah. And then For the WWE Championship, I got a 1995 Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
I got current Seth Rollins and current AJ Styles.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I would give it to AJ Styles.
Okay.
Just because I think he's still the best out of both those three. Like, just as far as like the type of wrestler that he ended up like becoming. Like, he kind of took a lot of like great attributes from all these different people, including Shawn Michaels. Like, a lot of the things that he was like basically his best at his class at.
Yeah.
To me, I think Seth Rollins is like right here, and then AJ is just like one step above him.
Gotcha.
So to me, give it to AJ, and I will close out the night like that.
All right, that's what's up. Well, what y'all think about that? You know what I mean? Y'all leave the comments, like, share, subscribe to the podcast.
Yes,
this
sir.
is Sports Entertainment with Shane and Eric. I'm Shane G. You can
I am
find
Eric
me
G.
on Twitter, Instagram, everything, Shane_MWC. Find this young man over here.
The Eric G Life, all platforms, you know what I mean?
There you go. Follow the Midwest Coast Network on Facebook, Midwest Coast Network on Instagram, YouTube. You're already here, so you see us. So, appreciate you. Apple and SoundCloud as well. That's where you'll, find the audio podcast. We appreciate y'all. And we'll be back next week with the review of WrestleMania.
Have fun watching this weekend.
We'll holla at y'all. Peace.